What's going to happen to the M4?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to a new year. And I figured today is a good day to start off the year and tell you what's happening to all the cars, especially the car that we all are wanting to know about the most, the M4. Now, the M4's motor gave out on December 21st, almost 2 weeks ago now. And as of right now, I do have a concept of a plan. However, since the car hasn't really moved, that plan hasn't been solidified yet because there are still other routes I can go. Now, from what we know right now, the motor is hurt pretty bad. There is big pieces of metal bearing inside the oil filter, and the oil is very sparkly, and it was only in the car for 3,000 to 3,500 miles. And on top of that, the car is knocking. We are not sure where it is knocking or what is knocking, but I have a feeling it's the servo valvetronic motor that is inside the valve train. So, as of right now, I am going to tell you all the options I have, and then I'm going to tell you the option I picked. For starters, a lot of people have reached out to me and asked me how much for this car, blown up. I do not know how much they are offering because I did not entertain their messages, because I do not want to lead them on, because I do not plan on really selling this car. Now, the next plan is to ditch this motor, get a new used stock motor, single turbo it, and keep it at stock power levels. We're not going to do that because the stock motor is only good for around 600 to 650 horsepower, 700 too, but that's when you start getting more reliability issues. And then there are three other options that we could go with. One is motor swapping it. So some people have said 2JZ, some people have said LS, and I'm pretty sure the LS will actually bolt up to the DCT that is in this car. Now, I hate to shoot those ideas down, but honestly, I am not looking at motor swapping this car. I enjoy the S55, and I want to stay true to the platform and keep the engine that this car came with. There are certain cars that I don't mind engine swapping, like the Camry if that motor ever went, but as far as the M4, I want to keep the S55. And now there are two other options, maybe three actually, so sorry, I added one more. The other option is we pull this motor. If it is savable, we take out the parts that are broken and put built parts inside it and basically build up this motor to be able to withstand 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower. Then single turbo it, then aim for 800 wheel, and then maybe have a kill map that is 1,000. The next option is, if that motor is bad, get a stock motor and build that. Or the final option, buy an already built motor and just put it in the car and drive it. And honestly, where I'm sitting with this whole situation is we're gonna go with the final three options. The plan is to first pull this motor, figure out what's wrong, figure out if we can save the motor or not. If the crank is fine, if the whole block is fine and it just needs new rod bearings, potentially rods, pistons, obviously the camshaft is going to need to be rebuilt. If we can do all that and it is more cost efficient, we are going to go that route. If the motor is beyond saving, we will take it out and either get a built one or buy a stock one and build that ourselves.
So when is this all happening?
Well, let me show you my life right now.
As you can see, there's concrete on the ground right there,
And there are two giant holes that you would have seen in the last video inside my shop. Now, these holes are cut through the concrete to be able to allow us to get thicker slabs poured of concrete so that we can have our own lift. Now, with that being said, concrete is probably gonna be pushed out for another week. So hopefully by the 7th, we'll have fresh concrete poured. Then we have to wait 4 weeks to then safely install this without risking the concrete cracking. And that would suck because getting new concrete in here is very expensive. So with that being said, 4 weeks. That is probably going to be the time frame of the M4. Now, no, we are not actually going to be using this lift on the M4 because Remy's going to help us build it. And Remy's shop also has the same issue where his concrete is not thick enough. So Remy is actually lining up a day to get his concrete cut and poured with concrete and poured with fresh concrete as well. So his time frame is also probably about 4 to 5 weeks out. So with that being said, the M4 is not really going to have much done to it for another 4 to 5 weeks. Once our lifts are secured and safe, we will then bring the M4 to Remy's shop and we'll pull the motor and see what's going on with it and what exactly failed. And then when my lift is also done and secured around the same time frame, we are going to pull the Z06 inside the shop and fix its transmission. Because right now I have a lot of things planned for the Huracan and the Supra, and we don't necessarily need to be driving that car or that car yet. So I'm not in a big rush. Now I think that is a good enough update for all the cars, especially that one and the shop. So let's go ahead and begin with changing stuff on the Supra. We actually have a brand new SNCal Motorsport front lip that we can install on this car because our current front lip was destroyed in the snow and the structural integrity of this thing is not the greatest. It still looks good, which is great. SNCal Motorsport has great quality stuff, but we got a new lip. So let's ditch this broken one. And the new front lip, you guessed it, is in this box.
All right, well, here is the new front lip.
Yes, I know. The shop is a wreck. I keep deciding to make videos instead of cleaning the shop. After today, I will devote a full day to getting the shop cleaned up. But that won't be today. So let's go ahead and put this on. This is SNCal Motorsport's new GT4 style front lip. As you can see, we have the vents up front. These are the side pieces, very similar to those. And then these actually slide in underneath right here. You can see that little indent. This lip looks a lot more intricate than this one. And honestly, this design looks a whole lot more aggressive. Well, here's one piece off. Dang, double-sided tape was strong. Now what's nice about this front lip, and the other front lip too, is they both use the OEM hardware placements. So it should be pretty easy to line this bad boy up. That way it's perfectly straight on. Now you might be wondering, why is this so special to reuse the OEM hardware? Why not just use self-tappers? Well, if you're like me and you like low cars, you're gonna go through a few lips. And after the third front lip, second front lip, your front bumper is gonna look like Swiss cheese with all the holes from the self-tappers, which is why this SNCal lip is a go-to. All right, it's on, it's done. Honestly, this might be the best looking front lip I've ever seen on a Mark V Supra. Like, just look at the freaking lines on that thing. It looks good. Really hope snow does not destroy this one. But I think for the ultimate test, we need to take this thing on the freeway. All right, let's see if this front lip can handle the freeway. Okay, the front lip can, but the tires can't. Now, if you want your own front lip from SNCal Motorsport, maybe even this one if you have a Supra, go ahead and use code Schnatter and you'll get 5% off your order. But now it's time to go over to Remy's shop, check it out, and eat some good food. And we also gotta grab some poster board on the way. All right, the world of Walmart. We're gonna get the 5 count because sometimes I change my goals. All right, considering what happened last time, we're not gonna accelerate too crazy. Okay, I wasn't accelerating too crazy, but I did not see that pothole. Oh, ready? I love this car. Well, the lip is still on and it is looking sexy. Now we have been at Remy's house for a little bit now, just eating some food. There's a lot of people at the house, but I want to show you where the M4 is going to reside in around a month. So this is where the M4 will be in a little bit. Remy has actually drilled a hole into his concrete and he found out the same thing that we found out at my house. His concrete is 3.25 inches thick, and then underneath it is hand poured concrete. So it'd be really sketchy to put a lift in this shop right now, but in 4 weeks time, we are going to trailer the M4 here, and this will be where we'll be working on the car. So that's the hole, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so here's the question though. When the M4 gets here, how long will it take us to get the engine out and torn apart to find out what's wrong?
Depends on how long you're here, a day.
You think a day? And then,
There's no reason to take it.
okay. So let's say the bearings are messed up, the rods are messed up, and we have to get the cams resurfaced and everything like that. How long would it take a machine shop to redo the cams?
I'll call my boy
Okay.
and say, please rush order. It'll take probably about a week, maybe a week and a half for the heads to get completely redone. Doesn't matter though, because Jake I'm trying to get him to let us build an engine for it. So we're gonna get all the parts in by the time.
But wouldn't we still rebuild the head though?
Doesn't matter. The
No.
first thing that we do is just focus on the short block, which is literally just rods, pistons, crank, like the short block. So we rebuild that, blueprint all of that, and then by the time that's done, we grab the head, put the head on, and do whatever head stuff we're wanting to do.
So once we get the motor out, how long, if we don't hit any hiccups, how long do you think it would take to get the car back to being...
That's such a, that question sucks. If we had everything in front of us, like back to running, is the engine already built?
So say we pull everything, we figure out what we need, we order everything. Say it takes 2 to 3 weeks for it to get to us, and then we get all the parts in front of us after 2 to 3 weeks. Then how long would it take to get the car back to running? Another month?
If you're here, no. If you're here working on it and we're working on it all day, no more than a week, 5 days, I'd say.
So theoretically, the M4 might be running in less than 2.5 months from now.
Oh, 2.5 months is very realistic.
Very realistic?
Yeah.
See, he said it, so I'm gonna hold him to it.
all the parts. If you get all the parts here.
No, I'll get all the parts. We just gotta find out what parts we need. It's officially 2025. That is my form of fireworks right there. Well, good morning and welcome to 2025. Last night, before we went over to Remy's house, I picked up some poster board, and it was for something that I've been doing for almost 2 years now, and that is making a vision board. 7 out of 10 for last year. Not bad. But this next year, we had to get a bigger poster board because we have more than 10 goals, and I think we can hit them. So let's go inside and fill out our 2025 vision board together. Now, instead of 10 goals, we're gonna have 15 goals. There are a couple other ones that I'm gonna keep private just for myself and my personal life, but these are the ones that matter most to you and ones that I will really show you guys. So we got Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook, the typical ones, but I added X. And that is because this app is starting to become very popular, and I feel like making videos on there too would be pretty cool. So we're basically gonna be posting the same videos we post on TikTok on here, but this could be another good source of income to then hit the goals below that. So these are the cars we're starting off the year with. I do plan on keeping most of them. The Huracan, the Supra, and the M4. Corvette, however, I do want to replace it with this, a C7 Z06. Ideally in this orange. I also want to get a G82 alongside the M4 and Supra, not get rid of them. So I want a blue G82, most likely tanzanite blue, but any dark blue would be pretty cool. Then I want to get a Trackhawk. Now the Trackhawk would be mainly for my wife. It would replace our red Jeep, so It would be her car, but we would modify it and make videos on it, of course. I also want to get an investment property. Either turn this house into an investment property and get a bigger house, or get a car wash, get a house and renovate it, get some land and build on it. The opportunities are endless with what we could potentially do. It just depends on where money is at. And then finally, in November, without getting rid of the Huracan, I want to get an Aventador alongside Remy. Remy and I both want to get matching Aventadors in the same month and then take them to SEMA. Very similar to what I did last year in the Huracan. All right, now that we went over everything, I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the follower counts I want to hit for each platform. For starters, Instagram. I want to hit 1.2 million. Right now we are at 635K. Now I understand that I probably will have to change up some things. I'll either have to add different types of content, like maybe working on investment property or rebuilding cars. But I know that if I could figure out a way to hit 635K in the span of a year, I can definitely figure out a way to hit this goal. Next up is X, 100K. Right now we are basically at 0. We have 133 followers, so it's very far away from that goal, but I believe if we can start from 0 and get to 45K on Snapchat in the span of a few months, a whole year, that's definitely possible. YouTube, 1 million. We're at 450,000 subscribers currently. Same goes for TikTok. If it doesn't get banned in a couple weeks, I want to hit 2 million. Right now, we are at 935K. So again, double it and then some. And then finally for Facebook, I want to hit 500K. We are currently at 169K. Pretty much went from 0 to what we are at now in the span of 4 or 5 months. So again, definitely possible. And then Snapchat, 250. That one's gonna be tough. That one's gonna be really tough. I'm not gonna joke around with that because we are right now at 45K. So that's a 205K jump. But yeah, this is it. 2025. We gotta work really hard to do this. Now I got this idea from a TED Talk that I saw several years back and instantly made my own board and hung it up in a place where I would see it every single day, multiple times a day. And I highly suggest that you do the same. If you have goals in life that you want to hit, don't make them 2 5-year goals. Make them 1-year goals and make them crazy. Because believe me, you will surprise yourself. Now, as far as the M4 is concerned, I want you to comment down below. Let me know what you think of my idea. I think it's the best option because I don't want to engine swap it and I don't want to keep it stock. I want to make it better than it is right now because that's always been my dream, and maybe this blown engine was a sign to do that. As far as the Corvette, the part for that car should be here within the next couple days, and then we can return this car back to its former glory. However, I still think we should wait until the lift is fully installed because I do not want to drop that whole rear on the ground. It's just going to take so much longer and honestly might not be done as good as if it was on a lift. So you let me know on that. There are so many things we have to do to the Supra and the Huracan that we won't necessarily forget about the Corvette, but we won't need to make videos on the Corvette right now. But with that being said, these are the goals and we are going to hit every single one together. Thank you so much for supporting me in the last year. It has been such a cool journey and I can't wait for this year together. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the bell. And I'll see you in the next video. Drive safe.